What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning into another edition of On the Road to Victory. I am your host, Jimmy Smith, and I hope you're all having yourselves a great night. I don't even know what's happening right now. Honestly, I don't. Sixers just completely fell apart. And then right before I go on the show, I'm like, all right, I'm calmed down. She calls me down. 1,000-legger in the house. I got to take him out. And I'm like, hey, did you find my wallet in the car? She's like, no, I didn't see it. So I think I left it over at her shop when I got off work early, but of course I needed to do the lawn over there at her shop. So I went over there and I just, oh my God, wanted to get that done quick so I could get back and finish the safety show. And then, oh Lord, I did not get back. So many other things happened in between. I didn't get home until the fourth quarter of the Sixers game and got to watch a little bit of a comeback and then a complete falling apart. But as I was doing that, I was finishing up the safety show, and may God help me because, holy, I am running on fumes. Again, got to get up at 5 a.m. tomorrow, so I'm going to need each and every one of you sickos to bring me that energy. I need each and every little bit of it. So I appreciate all of you tuning in. I am sorry for the delay. Kind of freaking out here. So as soon as I'm done with this video, I'm going to go fly over there and make sure it's there. But I've kept you sickos waiting for too long, so let's effing go. My man Doyle, you are the man, and I appreciate you tuning in, my friend. Let's go, Birds. And Tiffany, you sicko, cannot thank you enough for tuning in. King DV, we got Teresa. We got a little party going here. Little late night show. Hope you're all doing well here. And I'm going to pretend it didn't even happen because, man, I was really pissed. And now I'm pissed again. And I'm just like, dude, just wanted to talk about the safeties, get excited. It's draft week. I want to get pumped. So, very important position we're about to talk about here, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to break it all down like we did with each position. We'll look at the draft picks, what the Eagles have at the current position, all of the draft prospects, and then my top fits for the Eagles. So I appreciate you bearing with me here. And, oh, yeah, they sure are. But, what? You're learning about the oh yeah, there's no tamper. That's just people always making stuff up there. But okay, so let's jump right into this. Appreciate all of you hitting that like button, subscribing, all of that stuff. So let's go. One of the things we talked about yesterday that we are waiting for is I would like to know what's going on with Isaiah Rodgers before this draft begins. So let's hope tomorrow we get a little bit of news there. I'm jumping on here tomorrow talking about how Isaiah Rodgers has been reinstated. Let's put it out there. Let's go, Birds, baby. But let's jump right into the show. We started off, has not changed throughout the series, but in case you've missed any of this, the Eagles draft picks, we got a first. We got 2 seconds. We got ourselves a 4th and 3 fifths along with a 6th-round pick. So 8 picks this year, but we all know Howie Roseman, and you're allowed to trade the next 2 years as well. So you see a total of 22 picks here, and you know who Howie Roseman is. So expect the Eagles to be busy. And if you've been watching any of these shows, you've heard me talk about a lot of talent in a lot of rounds. And we've even talked about guys in the 3rd and 7th round. And I don't care because you know Howie Roseman, and these are not going to be the picks that we have when it becomes the actual draft day. Now, I will tomorrow be breaking down the draft pick cap hits. I already have those for you. I've had them for a couple weeks now. It just, you guys know this, whatever. This series is taking way too long because, well, work's just kicking my ass. And, it's all right, but I will give you all that information. You'll get my guy, but if you've been tuning in, you know lots of talent in this draft, and you know how I feel about a lot of these positions. And one of the things we did before this series got started was talk about the positions of need for the Eagles. So we took a look, in depth at each position, and I had them ranked. And as I've said throughout this series, just because you have, safety, which is number 1, which we're talking about today, last but not least, but that does not mean that's what you got to do in the first round. And then in the second, you got to get a linebacker. We're not drafting for need. We are drafting best player available, and that's how it should always go, especially when you load up in free agency. So this team, we're talking about where they should be looking. Each one of these shows, we talk about the position where I think the Eagles should focus. And look, I obviously feel that it is a position of need here, and I am ecstatic about the signing of C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Love to see Reed Blankenship getting that extension, still costing absolutely nothing. And, Sidney Brown, you guys know how much I wanted him in last year's draft. Doing this series, this show, the final show of the year last year, talked about Sidney Brown. You guys heard me all offseason talking about that kid. I'm excited, but obviously banged up. We don't know. He says he'll be ready for the beginning of the season. That'd be nuts. But get healthy, young man. We'll see you when you get there. But Tristan McCollum, beyond that, is what you got. And now you've got guys like Garner and Goodrich on, the cornerback list that can help you. We have versatile pieces. Even Avonte Maddox has played there before. So we, have versatile guys. But right now, really, you've got 4 safeties. So I need to see. And whoever you draft, I think they could start over Reed Blankenship. But even if they don't right away, you've got, it makes me a lot more comfortable if you do add there. And, we've talked about this. We've got almost $30 million in cap space. If Howie wants to make a draft day trade, he will do that. He wants to go get a safety, a cornerback, a lineman, whatever the hell he wants to do. It's Howie Roseman, and we'll break all that stuff down throughout the draft, everything, how things are shaking out, who we take in the first, should we look to trade someone now that we didn't get this position, blah, 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 all that. We'll break it down just like we've been, but that's what we've got going on the Eagles right now, just to keep you up to date. But now we're going to look at the full list of all of the safety prospects and my top fits. But let me jump back over here real quick. Little G, let's go, Birds. Hope you're excited about this draft. I know you're looking for some of those big school names, and I'm okay with that. A lot of talent in a lot of those schools, and let's go, Birds. Rodney, my man, appreciate you tuning in. Let's go. And, that's not going to happen. We weren't tampering. I don't know who was making that stuff up, but let's go, Sean, my man. Appreciate you tuning in. Stu, my dude, you sicko. Appreciate you, my man. Hope you're having a great start to your week. Liz, a very happy Monday to you. Hope you're all having yourselves a very great start. If not, man, just think of the fact that it's draft week and get yourself excited. And I'll keep you tuned in with some stuff here the next couple of days. So you're locked in, ready to go for this draft. And we'll have that live stream on Thursday and we'll hang out. Obviously, the Eagles don't pick till 22. So we'll just be shooting the shit like last year. I'll have that little ticker at the bottom, keeping you up to date with what's happening, all that stuff. It was fun. Had a great time. So hope to see you again. But let's jump right into these safety prospects and starting it off with the end of day 3, guys. Guys, I think, that will be either 7th round or undrafted. And you've got some intriguing names out there, McMorris and Green and Dent, some guys that you could definitely bring in to compete. But I'm really focused on this position. And, I've heard not a very talented class. I've heard a few things where I'll be real with you. Maybe you don't have let's keep going through the list. Maybe you don't have certain ideas about what's going on with the top guys, but I feel like there are so many guys. This was so hard for me. I was only able to pick 8. I had it at 12, then 10. And dude, things were just going on for me today where, time was just of the essence. And honestly, I have 16 honorable mentions. I wanted to make like 20 of these fits because there's so many guys I really like and would love to break down. I just don't have the time, but we'll continue to do that stuff over the next couple of days. I wanted to get this information so my top fits for each position. But, there are guys here that obviously could go in the 7th. They could go higher. It really depends. This is just where I've got them going here. And some very fun names here. And you'll see a lot of these guys popping up in a second. But now you see, talking about round 3, 4 guys. And again, they could go anywhere really, because this is a really intriguing class. And for as much as everybody says, there's not a lot of talent, I would take anybody on this list right here and a bunch of the names on the other list. And to me, there isn't any first round talent. And I've heard some people say that some of these guys could go in the first. That's fine. To me, I don't think that that's what's going to happen. I think that you'll be able to look with your 50 or the 53rd pick. You've got Newb, Hicks, Bullard. Maybe, somebody's gone by then. But a lot of talent here, man, that I would be very happy with. That I think when you hear that kind of stuff, and, I don't watch that stuff or listen to other people like that. It's always what people are commenting on or what pops up. And I'm like, but I see the one was something about like how the safeties. And I was just like, all right, dude, this is really funny to me because I feel like I would take 25 of these dudes, 30, and be like, okay, good. That's going to help out the safety room. Like, I truly feel that way about this list. And I think Newbin's the top guy here, but I think that, you could go either way with some of these guys. It could be Hicks. It could be Bullard, in your opinion. I think for me, it was between Bullard and Hicks, who was number 2 and 3. I think Newbin's my number 1, clear cut. But let's talk about the fits. Now, this is not who the best guys are. I just showed you that, in my opinion. But this is who I think, and I'll tell you why, with the Eagles. And we just need a lot of help. So everybody kind of fits in. But I'll tell you why I think they fit, why I like them. But before we do that, I should have done this with every position. But I had so many people that I had to leave off that I really did want to talk about, that I honestly wanted to be able to make graphics, show you their stats, and talk about them. But this new job, man, let's hope it pans out for next year. So got a lot more time and can make a lot of these things. But I like Sione Vaki there, the guy that played running back and safety at Utah. Great story. But I think Cole Bishop, a better actual safety than him. I like both those guys, Kinchins, Braid. Dude, all of these guys right here. Dominique Hampton is one of the guys I had to cut out with the top 10. Talked about Damani Richardson yesterday, but I switched it with Marion Richardson I wanted to have yesterday. Honestly, Damani could play corner or safety, but wanted to keep him on here. We talked about him yesterday. I'm not going to talk about him again, but just know that I like him as a safety as well. Versatile defensive back. That's what we talk about here. But a lot of talent here that I wanted to be able to talk about, but you're not going to see those guys. So showing my hand a little bit here, but a lot of talent that I wanted to talk about. And, well, I just did not have the room. So we'll get into it here in a sec. I'll be here for the draft Thursday. Got approved. Let's go. See, that dedication is what I'm talking about. And I'll be popping on as soon as I'm home. I'll be getting all the graphics and stuff ready. I'm just I'm excited, man. I really am. Last year, I have no clue what I was doing. I don't even really remember what some of the issues were. I'm going to go back maybe and try to watch and see some of the things I can improve on here for you guys. But it was fun, just hanging out. But I had to bring my laptop down. I should have gave better lighting. There was just so much going on with it, dude, that it was weird. But look, we're going to break this all down, and it's definitely going to be a party. I cannot wait to see you guys. We'll be, I'll do my best to go for year 6 here in a row. But honestly, I am so torn right now. And, hey, look, either way, 5 years in a row is pretty nuts for me. So I'll take it, but I'm going to try. I'm going to try my best, and a lot of talent. But let's look at the top talent, my top fits for the Eagles here at the safety position. And we're going to start it off. Number 8 here, Tyler Owens. And, man, this was a weird one for me because it was like he's not that great of a safety to where I want to have him on my top list over some of these guys that are better safeties right now. But we're talking about the draft where, it really depends on what's going on. And that's what this show is all about. And when you're looking at one of those versatile pieces, when we talk about someone that plays well in the zone, that can fill that nickel role as well, that versatile defensive back, a guy that's 6'2", 216 pounds, runs a 4.340, dude, a 41-inch vertical, 146 broad. This guy's not real. I don't think he's real, and he's such an athlete that, dude, he went to Texas, I think, for 3 years, and he was at Texas Tech the last couple of years. But yeah, maybe he hasn't panned out just yet, so that maybe that worries you, oh, he hasn't figured it out. I hear things like that a lot of times, when someone is, in their opinion, been doing things. But it's look, man, in the right situation with someone like Vic Fangio, I think that with this athleticism, he will find a way. This dude, I from what I saw, for all the knocks on him, I thought he had good anticipation. I thought, from what I saw from him, he's good in run support, not great or anything like that. But I think he's definitely somebody. He's got long arms. That was one thing that stood out to me. Strong hands. Hey, strong hand. I like that, man. So always stirring up those taters. But he's definitely, he only started 12 games at Texas Tech and Texas all combined. So I just think very raw, a lot of work to be done with him. But dude, when he's 6'2" and he's over 6'2", almost 6'3", this dude, why not? He's honestly somebody you could get. We only have a 6th. We don't have a 7th, but if you acquire a 7th or this kid goes undrafted, I don't know. It's not all about speed. I'm not one of those people oh, they're fast, so you got to have them. I just think that when you're that much of a freak athlete, dude, you give it a shot if you can. So you could see only 570 snaps last season, 9 missed tackles, not much, 2 passes deflected. I mean, he's a safety, so you don't want to be too much of a stat watcher there. But, for me, I think this kid would be a great addition to this team. And, again, as a depth piece that could help you in multiple positions. So I would be all for adding someone like a Tyler Owens. Now, up next at number 7, this is a guy out of Ole Miss, transferred from Liberty, played 2 years at Liberty, had 1 year at Ole Miss, Dejan Anthony. And, dude, for me to pick 8 was tough because I liked those 16 other guys. So I really do like these guys. And, he only runs a 4.55 40. So, as I was saying, it's not all about speed, especially with safeties, but not against it at all. But, this dude, the quarterback rating when thrown at was 56.7. This is a kid where, again, I feel you can find at the end of the draft, goes undrafted maybe, but I think he's good in press coverage. I think something, that you definitely want to work on with him is zone coverage. And I think he really needs to work on a lot of stuff, his run defense, everything. But that's why we're talking about him being one of those steals. But I think this is one of those guys that he can play in the zone. And I think that this is a dude that matches up well with, some of these tight ends and receivers. And I think that's something you want to see from these guys. And I think that, looking at, where we're talking about, that's more of your depth, right? But this is a guy that fills that role. We're talking about those hybrid guys that can play safety, can play nickel. This is that kind of guy. And I think Dejan Anthony, if he's not drafted or near the end and you've got some picks, hell, why not? Now, this next guy, I think he's going to be one of the top 3 taken. And I really do like Jaden Hicks. I have no idea how I convinced myself to have him down at number 6 here, but I guess I did. And I'm just really a big fan of a lot of these safeties. I told you. And again, it's not because of like, oh, this guy's the, first round pick. I'm talking about where, I like these guys. Now, this is more of your bruiser. This is your box safety. When you're looking at, Madden, this would be your strong safety. So in this defense of the Eagles, it's left and right, man. It doesn't matter. You got to be able to play both. You got to be versatile. So not exactly great for Jaden Hicks because I feel he is more of that box guy. But he's not horrible in coverage or anything like that. I really do like this kid. He's very versatile. I think this is a dude that is a ball hawk. So don't mistake me for saying like, oh, yeah, like this guy. But I just don't feel you're putting him deep just yet. I think you work on this kid, but he's physical as hell, man. I love this dude, and he's good in the zone. I think he'd be perfect for, some of the things we are trying to do here. Not necessarily like, again, a third safety. We talk about those big nickels, the dime backers, things like that, where I think he could definitely, do well. And I think he plays better in zone than man. So I think he would fit in just fine here. Again, I don't know. I guess I talked myself into some of these other guys, and I do really like the guys coming up here in the top 5, but Jaden Hicks is a badass, dude. Seriously, go watch his tape. I thought that he was really fun to watch. And if you would add him to the Eagles, I would get pretty pumped up there. But at the same time, like, I just feel, he runs a 4.5 40. That's not horrible. But, you've got Reed here. You've got CJ, more of like that, free safety, if you want to call it that, but he is one of those versatile pieces. So you kind of have one of those, but I wouldn't mind 2, just saying. Now, Jaden Hicks, badass dude. I'm not going to lie to you, but another bad man is Malik Mustafa. And this dude, 5 years at Wake Forest, he will knock your effing head off. And well, that's what I like about him. So looking for a bruiser here. And obviously I'm looking for all kinds of stuff as I'm talking here, but this is another one of those box safeties, the strong, but in this defense, again, you got to be able to do both. Runs a 4.5 240, so around that same range there. But I think he can work on how he tackles, but great in the run defense. I think he's going to be pretty special in the NFL when it comes to that. His coverage, I think he's a little better man than zone, but this is a dude that one of those like freak athletes. We talk about 5'10". 209, man, this dude, when you talk about physical, this is what you're thinking of. And yeah, he looks small, 5'10", 209, but he's a stocky little monster, dude. And I think he plays well in the zone. That's why he fits what I'm looking for here. And he just always, seemed to be going, dude, just going balls to the wall each play. And I love that, man. He had great short area quickness. I was a fan of his. And I think, he had pretty good coverage skills too for one of those guys. So, again, I mentioned, a little bit of the over aggressiveness, but we talked about that with Sidney Brown last year. That's not going to shy me away from these guys. They can be coached up. So I'm a big fan of Malik Mustafa. And I think that, he's somebody, dude, even with the 4.5, 4.40 that he ran in his pro day, do not care. I don't. I think that he is a badass, and watching him on the field, if you go watch his tape, dude, watch highlights, whatever you like to do, he's a bad dude, and I would be pretty pumped to have him on the Eagles squad. And for me, this is one of those pieces where I think you could get him, if not with that 4th round pick. You have 3 5th-round picks. I mean, hell, you want to trade up, take 2 people in the 4th, that's fine. I think you could get him in that range, and I think that would be a great range if you feel comfortable with the guys you got and you want to just add depth. Okay. I'm not totally on board with that idea. I would like to see some other things, but hey, we'll talk about that in a second. But Mustafa, come on down. Now at number 4, we've got ourselves Javon Bullard, and I'm a big fan of Bullard. I've seen some people have them, have him as their top guy. I think I had him as my number 3 guy, but he's my number 4 fit here. 5'11", 180. That's, a little tiny. 3 years there at Georgia. You can see the stats, all that great stuff I know you guys like. But, to me, I think that Bullard, he is a really good safety. He's definitely one of the best in this class. I know he runs a 4.47 40, so he's fast. I know that gets people pumped up. So, to me, he's a 2nd rounder, right? That's where I had him at. So, the reason I don't have him as the top fit is because if you're going there, I think you could go other ways. But this guy's perfect for, what you're got going on here with the Eagles. This dude fits in with the zone. You can play some man. And I honestly think that, when we talk about, a free safety, that's what this guy is. And he's a versatile guy that I think, could help you as, that nickel. He could do certain things that you need to be able to do in this defense. But I think he'd be great, man. I really do. But this is somebody that, he's got great athleticism. He's somebody that's really fun to watch. Good run defense, good tackler. He's great in zone. Again, as I said, he's good in man. He's just great at everything. He's got great coverage. I think that all around, this guy is going to be a stud in the league. And I honestly, I think he just works on some of his technique. I think that, he could be a badass. Now, his size has been questioned, and I totally understand that for the way he plays. And he's had some legal issues. I wasn't exactly able to go dig into that, but he has had a couple of injuries. And look, those kind of things where, whatever he's got going on, they are definitely going to concern a team. So if he starts falling, maybe you want to take a shot at him. I am a fan of his game, but again, I'd like to see him definitely bulk up. Maybe he tries to play a little bit of that big nickel, whatever it may be. Until then, but hey, I'm a fan of Bullard and would not mind seeing the Eagles add him to the roster. Now, see a few comments. So we're about to get into the top 3 here. Love to hear your thoughts, who you guys have as your top 5, top 10, top 20, whatever may be on your mind. But I think that you got a lot of guys here that I'd be excited about. I don't know about you guys, but love to hear your thoughts here. Believe you can pick who you'll pick. Let's go, Tiffany. I appreciate your support and faith in me. I will do my best. I promise you. And if I go down burning, I've been thinking that for the last few years, so I can't believe we're even still going. But you're a true sicko, and I truly appreciate it. And I don't understand how people do that. That's my number 1 here. It's gonna take forever to get to 22. No, what's a missed tackle? What's an M tackle? Yes, a missed tackle. My bad if I did not explain that to you. But let's get into the top 3 here. And again, man, I think that this class is loaded. You guys saw the honorable mentions here, but I would be pretty excited about a lot of these guys. Now, let's look at number 3 here. And this guy, honestly, this like top 8 right here, I honestly would be pumped up. Like, I had so much fun with these safeties. I don't know why people are saying not a good class. I think it's a lot of talent in this class. Maybe it's not, again, first round, but you can find some diamonds in the rough, I do believe. Now, this kid, he runs a 4.4 140. So, yeah, if you're into that speed, you're going to get that. But this dude's all around game. He can do it all. And 5'10", but he's got 197 there. 2 years at Texas Tech. And this guy, I think, if he falls in the fourth, you have to take him. If you're feeling froggy, you want to leap into the third, you go get it. This is a dude, a freak athlete that, he's a great playmaker on the ball. Talk about versatility, name in the game. This is one of those dudes that could play in that nickel, can play that safety spot that you need. That's what you're looking for in the Vic Fangio defense. That's the kind of guy you want. And this dude has great route anticipation. I think that he's somebody, we talked about bringing a leader in. He checks off every box, somebody that can play special teams if he's not starting right away. So I just think that he's got some work to do, some developing, some technique stuff. And it's so funny because I feel like I beat, the drum here over and over again, saying these same things. But you talk about these young men, like they're young kids that need time. And a lot of times certain systems or, whatever the circumstance may be, it's just so funny to see people like, oh, you think players develop? It's like, yes, that's exactly how it works. But Dejan Taylor-Demerson to me he's a stud, dude. So as much as I like Owens there from Texas Tech, if you're giving me a safety from there, yeah, I wouldn't mind the project, but why don't you go ahead and give me the guy that fits exactly what we're looking for? And all day, give me Dejan Taylor-Demerson. Now up next at number 2, this is probably not the Georgia guy you thought I was going to have here. That's all right. Bullard was 4. I got Taki Smith at number 2. 5'10", 202 pounds, 5 years. Spent a few at West Virginia before transferring to Georgia. And go ahead and give us another dog in that secondary. This is one of those guys that I think, he can do it all. He can play the zone that we need, but he can also play man. He can play either safety role. I think he's one of those deep safeties that you can rely on, though. So we need that, right? We definitely need that. He's good at tackling, good against the run. Honestly, I think he's pretty damn good in man. I mentioned, him playing in zone, but he's just got a high IQ. He's somebody that's physical as hell. Go watch his tape. And again, they're listing Bullard over him, but I honestly would take Taki Smith over him. And he's somebody that helps you right away. He can play that slot. He can play that safety. That's exactly what we're looking for, what we're talking about. A damn strong tackler. That is something I need. And again, little over aggressive. I don't know what it is with me and these over aggressive guys. He's got the fangs on. And I don't know, man. I need people ready to knock some lights out. But I think what's going to happen, the reason I have him here as my number 2 fit is he had an ACL injury. And, I know those injuries can concern people and, other things, whatever they want to, be concerned about with Taki Smith. But dog, I am telling you, this kid right here, they played him mostly in the slot there at Georgia, but he played outside corner a little bit. He played box safety, deep safety. He can do it all. Was on the D line for like 62 snaps last year. This dude, again, is a dog and only got 2 sacks there. But man, I seriously love Taki Smith. And I would be ecstatic if the Eagles went and drafted him. If you get him in the 4th, if he's there in the 5th, which would be insane. I don't think, when I look at this, I try to believe that maybe I'm just like, nobody else sees it, but these GMs have to be seeing this stuff. I mean, you think that, but then again, all these people, we talk about it. Hey, whatever, they get caught up, or maybe they just, love the RAS scores or the PFF or the combine, whatever it is, man. I think a combination of everything is what helps me, and I'm no expert. I just try to look at everything and, do my best to tell you guys what I see. But I like Taki Smith a lot and, in that range. So we had mentioned earlier about, Javon Bullard, talked about Jaden Hicks. And, I like those guys a lot. That's why they're in my top fits. But I think if you're going with one of those second round picks, 50 or 53, it's got to be one guy. And that one guy out of Minnesota, Tyler Newb, and my sweet baby back, Jesus, 6'1", 199, 5 years at Minnesota. And this dude, you can look at stats if you'd like, but oh, baby, come on down, Tyler Newb. This dude is like a little heat-seeking missile out there. I love watching his tape. And this is a guy that he is a true deep safety, played in the box, played a dabble at corner, a little dabble on the D-line blitzing. He played in the slot. He is versatile as hell. I mean, he checks off every damn box we're talking about now. You might shy away. Well, he runs a 4.6 40. He didn't have. Look, I don't care about the combine. And look, that stuff, you take it with a grain of salt. You understand the context of it, and it can be helpful. But to me, I'm looking at him as a safety, and I don't give a shit what his 40 is. I want to see how fast he looks on the field. I want to see, what he's doing. And, the quarterback rating when being thrown at for Newb in here, 40.2. Okay, that just gives you a little idea there. A tackling machine, great in coverage. And we're talking man zone. You need him matched up against some of these tight ends, some of these bigger wide receivers. That's your guy. And him lined up with CJ Gardner-Johnson. Oh, yeah, baby. You see 5 interceptions this season in 12 games. Dude's a ball hawk as well. So, yeah, go ahead and watch him. Like, he's probably one of the slower guys I just mentioned here when it comes to 40 time. Go watch his tape, and I guarantee you'll think he's the fastest guy that I just talked about, because that's just how he plays. And that's why it's funny to me, the 40 stuff. It's like, yeah, okay. I mean, even your get off could, hinder that a little bit. Some people know how to, whatever, dude, but let people, take what they want from it. But I think that this dude, he just looks like a safety. 6'1", 199 there. I'm sure he'll be over 200 pounds there, but he's just a safety. He's got great awareness. I think he's a leader on defense. Great tackling ability, I had mentioned. I just think that he's got those instincts you need from a safety. He is just a hitter that you want to see in a safety. His versatility is what we want to see as Eagles fans. So I think that, yeah, maybe, that 40 scares you because he's not like faster than everybody else. But I think there's a place for Tyler Newb in the NFL. And I just think that, he showed you he could play, deep. And I thought, giving up only that, 40.6 or what was it? 40.2, something like that. 40.2. That's pretty impressive, man. And yeah, whatever you want. And people will say, well, he went to Minnesota. Like, look, man, like these kids, you got to know what you're watching. You understand the context of everything. And that's how you decide. And for me, this kid's in the second round. Why not take a shot on him? Because you look at guys like, Kyle Hamilton that you didn't take. And look, I wanted Jordan Davis, so I'm good there. But I'm just saying, you see what he's able to do with some of these versatile guys that, yeah, they're safeties, but they come down and play that big nickel role. That is what, Kyle Hamilton, that's where he found, success for the Ravens. So you're going to see a lot of that, man. And I think that we're looking for guys that can fill that. And I think Tyler Newb fills that 100%. And I think so do a lot of those other guys. So even those honorable mentions, a lot of great guys out there. So I'm excited about this draft. A lot of guys to think about, talk about, and I'm going to break it down for you guys. I'm going to show you, what I think the Eagles should do, whether I think they trade up, trade back, whether they stay put. And I'll give you like differing opinions as to like, hey, if we're at here, this is what they'll do, that just like we do every year. But I can't thank you enough, man, for all of you tuning in throughout this draft series. It has been insane. I got to work at 5 a.m. tomorrow. I'm running on fumes here. I got to go find my wallet. Forgot all about it. Holy hell. God help me. But I hope you all enjoyed this. Hope you checked out all of the positions here. If you go check them out, love to hear from you, who your favorites are. Oh, my sweet Lord. But Miss Tackle, yeah, no doubt, my man. It's all good. But, yo, Dragon, appreciate you tuning in, dude. Favorite safety guy out of USC, no doubt, man. Yeah, no doubt they did. But that's all I've got out of the safety room tonight. If you guys have any further thoughts on that, any questions about anyone, love to hear from you. You're watching this later. You've got any opinions? You got some guys in your top fits you want to talk about? I don't know if you guys saw my honorable mention list, but it was insane because, dude, I really wish I could have made some graphics for a lot of these guys and broken down why I didn't or did have them higher. But look, dude, I think there's a lot of talent that if you don't go right away for safety, there's no reason to panic at all in this draft. There's loads of talent at different spots. Broke down where I think the Eagles should be looking at all of them. I'll give you a little recap the next couple of days, give you my pick. We'll go from there, and then Thursday, live stream, baby. But I hope you all have yourselves a great rest of your night. I got to get rolling, dude. I can't believe it is 11:15. Brian, my man. Yo, appreciate you. Thank you guys for bringing that energy, helping me get over that game. Hey, man, I can't believe it's over. The draft series is finally commenced here, ladies and gentlemen. So hope you enjoyed it. Sorry, it was like weeks late. Had to pan them all out. Oh my God. I'm going to try to get some sleep tonight. We'll see how that goes. But thank you, Brian. Thank you to all of you who tuned in here tonight. Again, you're watching this later. Love to hear from you. Appreciate each and every one of you hitting the like button, subscribing, all the things you're doing. You need anything, whether it's talk birds, talk about life, whatever it may be. Always here for you as you are for me. Love each and every one of you. Have yourselves a great rest of your night. But until next time, I am Jimmy Smith, and this is On the Road to Victory. You all stay safe out there. And as always, say it with me now. Go Birds!